Football has a way of creating moments that feel bigger than the game itself. Moments that make millions of fans stop what they're doing, turn up the volume, and watch history unfold. On a warm night in Miami, Brazil delivered one of those moments. The scoreboard read Brazil 3, Scotland 0. The Selecao finished top of Group C and marched into the knockout stage. But the result was only part of the story. Because after months of injury setbacks, endless questions, and constant speculation, Neymar was finally back. The stadium knew it. The fans knew it. The entire football world knew it. For Brazil supporters, this wasn't just another group stage victory. It was the return of one of the greatest players in the history of Brazilian football. A player who has carried the hopes of a nation for more than a decade. A player who has experienced glory, heartbreak, criticism, and unforgettable moments in a yellow shirt. And as Brazil cruised to a dominant 3-0 victory over Scotland, the loudest cheers of the night weren't only for the goals, they were for Neymar. The journey to this moment had not been easy. Just weeks before the tournament, many people weren't even sure if Neymar would play at all. Injuries had interrupted his preparations. Questions about his fitness dominated headlines. Some critics wondered whether Brazil had already moved on without him. But Neymar never stopped believing. He worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Rehabilitation sessions, recovery programs, training drills. Long hours away from the spotlight. Every day was focused on one goal: returning to the World Cup. Meanwhile, Brazil began their campaign without him. Carlo Ancelotti's side showed quality from the very beginning. The team looked organized, confident, dangerous. New stars emerged, new partnerships developed. And one player in particular began stealing the headlines. Vinicius Jr., the Real Madrid superstar, entered the tournament carrying enormous expectations. Fans knew he possessed world-class talent. They knew he could change matches with a single moment of brilliance. But against Scotland, he showed something even more important: leadership. From the opening whistle, Brazil looked hungry. The match was only minutes old when Scotland made a costly mistake. Under pressure from Brazil's aggressive pressing, the Scottish defense hesitated on the ball. That hesitation proved fatal. Vinicius pounced instantly. The Brazilian forward intercepted the loose possession, burst forward, and calmly finished past the goalkeeper. One chance, one goal, one statement. Brazil led 1-0. The Scottish supporters inside the stadium fell silent. The Brazilian fans erupted. The early breakthrough completely changed the atmosphere of the match. Scotland suddenly found themselves chasing the game against one of the most talented teams on the planet, and Brazil smelled blood. Every attack looked dangerous. Every forward movement carried purpose. The midfield controlled possession with confidence. Casemiro provided stability. Bruno Guimaraes dictated the tempo. Lucas Paqueta drifted into dangerous areas. Scotland worked hard. No one could question their effort. But Brazil's technical quality was simply on another level. Whenever Scotland tried to push forward, Brazil found space behind them. Whenever Scotland attempted to build momentum, Brazil regained control. The pressure never stopped. Vinicius was everywhere. His pace terrified defenders. His movement created opportunities. His confidence grew with every touch. And just before halftime, he struck again. The move started deep inside Brazil's half. A quick sequence of passes sliced through Scotland's midfield. Bruno Guimaraes spotted Vinicius making another dangerous run. The pass was perfect. The finish was even better. Vinicius guided the ball into the net with remarkable composure. 2-0 Brazil. 2 goals. A world-class performance. And a reminder that he is now one of the most devastating attackers in football. As the players walked toward the dressing rooms, Scotland looked stunned. Brazil looked unstoppable. Yet, despite the scoreline, thousands of eyes kept drifting toward one area of the Brazilian bench: Neymar. The cameras found him repeatedly. Every time he stood up, the crowd reacted. Every time he stretched, excitement spread through the stadium. People weren't just waiting for a victory. They were waiting for a comeback. The second half began much like the first. Brazil remained in control. Scotland tried to respond, but every attack seemed to run into a wall of yellow shirts. The Brazilian defense was outstanding. Marquinhos organized the back line. The fullbacks pushed forward intelligently. The midfield shielded the defense effectively. Scotland struggled to create clear opportunities. And then Brazil delivered the knockout blow. Around the hour mark, another flowing move cut Scotland apart. The ball moved quickly through midfield. Bruno Guimarães once again played a crucial role. The pass found Matheus Cunha. The striker needed no second invitation. He fired the ball into the back of the net. 3-0 Brazil. Game over. The Brazilian supporters celebrated wildly. The Scottish players looked exhausted. And Carlo Ancelotti finally made the substitution everyone had been waiting for. The fourth official raised the board. A number appeared. Then another. And suddenly the stadium exploded. Neymar was entering the match. For a moment, the score no longer mattered. The standings no longer mattered. Nothing else mattered. Neymar was back. After missing Brazil's opening matches because of injury, the legendary forward stepped onto the World Cup stage once again. The reaction was emotional. Fans stood and applauded. Many recorded the moment on their phones. Others simply watched. They understood they were witnessing something special. Neymar's first touch brought another roar. His second touch drew cheers. Every movement was celebrated. And while he wasn't on the pitch long enough to score, he immediately showed flashes of the creativity that made him a global superstar. Quick passes, clever movement, beautiful touches, moments of imagination. The magic was still there. The smile was back. And perhaps most importantly, the confidence was back. For Neymar, this wasn't simply a substitute appearance. It was proof. Proof that the hard work had been worth it. Proof that he could still contribute. Proof that he could still help Brazil chase World Cup glory. The significance of the moment extended beyond this single match. Neymar's return marked his first World Cup appearance since Brazil's painful elimination in Qatar years earlier. It also placed him among a very select group of Brazilian players who have appeared in 4 different World Cups. That achievement alone speaks volumes. Generations of world-class Brazilian footballers have worn the famous yellow jersey. Very few have remained at the highest level long enough to reach 4 World Cups. Neymar has. And now he has another opportunity to add to his legacy. Yet, perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Brazil's victory was what it revealed about the team itself. For years, Brazil's hopes seemed to rest almost entirely on Neymar's shoulders. When he played well, Brazil looked dangerous. When he struggled, the entire nation worried. That dependency created enormous pressure. But this version of Brazil feels different. This team is deeper, more balanced, more complete. Vinicius Jr. has emerged as a genuine superstar. Bruno Guimarães controls games. Casemiro provides experience. Matheus Cunha offers attacking threat. The defense looks solid. The goalkeeper inspires confidence. And now Neymar returns, not as a desperate necessity, but as an additional weapon. That could make Brazil even more dangerous. Opponents now face an impossible dilemma. Focus on stopping Vinicius? Neymar can hurt you. Mark Neymar tightly? Vinicius can destroy you. Try to close down both? Brazil's other attackers will find space. This is exactly the kind of problem championship teams create. As for Scotland, the defeat was painful. The Scottish players fought bravely throughout the group stage. They showed determination, passion, commitment. But against Brazil, the quality gap was impossible to ignore. Scotland created moments. They worked hard. They never stopped running. Yet Brazil's superior technique, pace, and decision-making proved decisive. The loss left Scotland depending on other results to determine their World Cup future. For Brazil, however, the future suddenly looks extremely bright. The Seleção finished top of Group C and secured a place in the knockout rounds. The team remains unbeaten. The defense has looked excellent. The attack is firing. And perhaps most importantly, Neymar is available again. That's a frightening combination for the rest of the tournament. The image that will remain in the minds of fans isn't just Vinicius celebrating his goals. It isn't Matheus Cunha scoring the third. It isn't even the final whistle confirming Brazil's victory. It's Neymar stepping onto the pitch, smiling, waving to the crowd, wearing the yellow shirt once more. For years, He has been the face of Brazilian football. Now he has another chance to write one more chapter. Brazil are through. The knockout stage awaits. Vinicius is shining. The team is flying. And Neymar is back. The rest of the World Cup has officially been put on notice.